Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm C. John, and I'm your guide through this vast 4-minute documentary. I'll acquaint you with the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, commonly known as START 1. But before we get into this topic, we need to know what led to the creation of this treaty and who was involved. The START 1 treaty was originally conceived by President Reagan in the 1980s. It was then brought back in 1982 with negotiations between the Soviet Union and the United States. President Reagan named this possible treaty START instead of SALT. No, not that SALT. Strategic Arms Limitation Talks. This was created to curtail the number of manufactured missiles that can carry nuclear weapons. START 1 was proposed to destroy and limit the amount of intercontinental ballistic missiles, or ICBM, these countries could possess. During Ronald Reagan's presidency, there were concerns about the treaty. The cost of the treaty was a lot. I'm not sure about the estimated numbers, but to keep the treaty going, it must have taken a lot of money. The Soviet Union would have lost a lot of their resources to start war, so would the US, but it was worth it because the US would save money because they'll use the money instead of maintaining nuclear warheads. This treaty would take about 80% of both of these countries' nuclear power. The problem was that the Soviet Union could create false reports about how many missiles the Soviet Union possessed. This would leave the US defenseless, but it was worth it. For all to have peace of mind and to avoid an all-out possible nuclear war or a tragedy like the Hiroshima and Nagasaki in 1942. This way, the world could sleep at peace. George W. Bush then became the President of the United States, and Mikhail Gorbachev became the President of the Soviet Union. The treaty was then drafted on the 29th of June 1982 to July 1991, then signed on the 31st of July 1994 in Moscow. The Soviet Union then effected it on the 5th of December 1994, and it expired on the 5th of December 2009. After signing the START 1 treaty, the US President George W. Bush ordered the destruction of the missiles of the ICBMs and their bases. The debate and the diplomacy strengthens the relationships between the United States and the USSR. This also slowed the production of nuclear arms. The treaty known as START 1 may have stopped minor wars that could have led up to World War III. START 1 doesn't prevent them from making nuclear weapons. It just limits these two power nations to a certain number that they cannot exceed. If they do, they must destroy some of them. This includes hydrogen bombs, ICBMs, Minuteman IIs, or any sort of bombs that are lethal for the human society. Never forget that President Ronald Reagan had the idea to create START 1. Though he never signed it, he realized that creating a SALT 3 would not work because limiting the amount of manufactured missiles that can carry nuclear warheads would not stop people, aka the Soviet Union, from making bombs. Until today, there is still another START called the New START that was signed by President Barack Obama and is supposed to expire in 2026. Until then, the world is under a new start.